Good evening, everyone. We'll call the City Council to order at 8 o'clock on Monday evening, May 10th, 2021. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For this council meeting, we'll be implementing the governor's executive order regarding relief for the open meeting law. This allows councilors to participate remotely. All votes will be via roll call. There is one public hearing, and I will go over the process for participating in that public hearing before agenda item number 2. There are 21 items on this evening's agenda. I will ask the clerk to call the roll to confirm attendance, please.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner is present.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette is present.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas is present.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera is present.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish is present.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin is present.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers is present.
Councilor Oram.
Oram is present.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing is present.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman is present.
And Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby is present.
11 present, sir.
I will now ask the clerk to read agenda item number 1.
Minutes, City Council meeting, April 26th, 2021.
Mr. President,
Councilor Tenera.
motion to accept the place on file, please.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
And Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to accept and place on file the minutes is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed.
Mr. President,
Councilor Tenera.
motion to suspend the rules to allow the mayor to speak.
Motion made and seconded to suspend the rules to allow the mayor to speak on COVID. I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Point of order, I couldn't hear a word that the Councilor Tenera was making. What am I voting on?
It's a motion to suspend the rules to allow the mayor to speak on COVID-19.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clerk, and I'll vote yes. Thank you.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
And Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to suspend the rules is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed, to allow the mayor to speak and update the council on COVID. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. President, members, thank you very much for the opportunity. Again, I come bringing pretty good news. First of all, school is open citywide, so all our classes are in there. We've had a few situations. We've had to quarantine classes, but for the most part, it's been going extremely well, and want to applaud the superintendent and all the staff, the principals, and everyone else for making this work so well in the city. But it's great to have everyone back. City buildings and City Hall are open, so open for business. You have to wear a mask when you come in, but you can meet people and drop things off, and it's really great to see a few people in the building. It's not, you know, very, very busy. There's still a lot of people using our drop boxes, both in the front and in the back of City Hall, and we have a lot of people paying bills online. So that's great, and hopefully that continues into the future. We currently have 31 active cases in the city that's been posted by the health department, and our positivity rate on the testings dropped again to just over 2%, to 2.15%. So that's good that it's going in the right direction. The percentages, my guess, are going to be fluctuating a little more dramatically, only because we're doing less tests now. Last week, we did 1,113 tests at the Marlborough Hospital between Stop the Spread at the New England Sports Center and the ones they did at the hospital. So that's a good chunk of them, but we're down to about 1,100 for the week. At one point, we were doing about 1,900 a day. So there's been a big difference. So in talking to the hospital today, we'll probably see some changes coming up, not tomorrow, not next week, but as the numbers keep diminishing, hopefully we see the sports center back up and active, and we'll have to figure out what we're going to do as far as the testing. But we'll plan enough in advance so people won't be left out in the cold. We have signage all over the city reminding people to get their vaccines. I did tell John Garside this morning that either the city council or code enforcement will be down his back any day. I mean, they've been going up everywhere. It's been great. It really has. It's we're just trying to get people notified. So you see them on the sides of the roads. You see them on telephone poles. You see them every place that we tell everyone not to put them because they're perfect locations, you know. But he's done a great job in getting them out there, using the COVID money that we have, the CARES Act money, and trying to notify people. Last week, we did do a clinic on Friday at the Boys and Girls Club, and we were a little disappointed. We had about 40 people come through, and that was about it. But we're gonna try to keep hitting those areas. I know he's going back to one of the churches this week, so we're gonna continue doing that as much as possible. Based on the state's website, they say that we have just over 30% fully vaccinated in the city, and just over 50% with at least one dose. And both John Garside and myself think that's a little low, but they are lagging behind, so we're anticipating that that should be going up. But it is getting more and more difficult to get people down to the vaccination sites. Last week we did 1,453 vaccinations at the Marriott, and just under 50% of those, or 47%, were from Marlborough. So it's good we're getting our residents up there. I think there were about 13 or 14% from Hudson. So it's being utilized. We're getting some walk-in traffic as they close some of the other sites, but a good chunk of the people going on are from Marlborough. So that's great news, and again, want to thank the Marlborough Hospital for all they've done for us, as well as the Edwin N. Kennedy Health Center for providing us all the vaccines that we can use. And for the most part, they're getting both Pfizer and Moderna up there, and they're utilizing them as needed. So everything's going pretty well. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions you or the council have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Questions for the mayor? Councilor Orem.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to the mayor, question, our local pharmacies, are they reporting their vaccination rates, and if they're receiving most of the people that are coming in from Marlborough, are we getting any reports from our local pharmacies? That's all our pharmacies.
Yeah, well, the large pharmacies, the CVS's and Walgreens of the world, are running directly through the federal government. They don't receive our state allotment of vaccines, so they're kind of in a different program. The local people, the Bouviers of the world, we do stay in pretty much close contact with them. A lot of their reporting is going directly to Boston, so it's being included, but I think as we've seen, because there's been a lot of misinformation as far as the reporting goes, I think these are the minimum numbers, not the maximum numbers. I think we're doing a little bit better than this, but right now we're just trying to shake the trees as much as we can to get people down the Marriott to get vaccinated.
And one other question, are we educating our students through the schools to send home any information possible to their parents about the importance of vaccination? And are we planning to vaccinate our school children?
We're actually working on a program right now as to whether we can do it at the school. It's obviously much easier if they go directly to the Marriott. And I think the interesting part of the vaccination last week, we did have a number of students going through the vaccination site. So it was encouraging that some of the students are going down, but we're going to be working on, as the ages come down, we're going to be working on how to get them down to the vaccination site, whether we have to, get them there before school. It's really difficult for the hospital to have a remote area. It's a lot easier for us to do the remote area. The problem is we get a very, very small allotment from the state. I think we got 40 doses total last week. So we have a very small number. But we're trying to figure that out right now with the hospital as to where we can get the biggest bang for our buck as far as getting the kids vaccinated. We also have to be careful that we can't, program the children. A lot of them, they're not old enough to make their own decisions. So we need to provide the necessary information for the parents to make a decision for each of their children.
Well, thank you, and continue on with those incentives to getting our school children vaccinated, as well as to continue to get the unvaccinated vaccinated. It's so important. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Oram. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Through you to the mayor. I know there's still a lot of people that have trouble with transportation getting to the site. Is there a phone number they can call to get transportation or something to get to the site?
Yeah, if they call down at the senior center or to my office, we can make arrangements for transportation. The homebound program that you can go right to the health department, they'll come to you. Okay. So you don't even need transportation. We'll go and vaccinate you at your home if there's difficulties with that.
Is that the channel that's short on vaccines, or is that?
What's that?
Is that are there available vaccines for that program?
Yeah, well, that's really all we're getting in the health department are homebound vaccines.
Okay.
So we're using them through different channels, but we're trying to get as many as we can, and then Mr. Garside kind of divvies out. We fill all the appointments we have for the homebound and utilize the rest elsewhere.
Okay.
So we're not wasting any vaccines whatsoever.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Councilor Pearlman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and through you to the mayor. Thank you, Mayor Vigent, for this update. I know we always appreciate it at the council level since we get a lot of communication from residents. I have a couple of questions. The first, I know you mentioned some of the, I guess the vaccine clinics have been happening as like a one-day pop-up, most recently the one at the Boys and Girls Club. I was just wondering how far ahead are you all planning those? Because I know it'd be great to share that information out earlier so we as the council can share it with constituents, but also I'm sure a lot of folks, I think I saw it the day before it was happening, was just wondering how early those get set up, since I know they're hard to put together.
Yeah, I mean, they set them up a few days in advance. We act on it as soon as we can. The problem is we can't rely on the vaccines coming in, so it's almost like tentatively we set it up, and then if the vaccines come in, we can move forward. There were signs up on French Hill about the clinic at the Boys Club. We had things on the website. We made announcements with it. Actually, last week we had over 200 vaccines in the city to our Hispanic community. So we're getting there. It's just, we've got a long ways to go, that's all.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. I just feel like as much time as possible, I know it takes a while to know how many vaccines you're going to get, but I'm sure that will continue to spread, and I'm glad the website and other channels have been utilized. And my other question, I know I've seen some of the banners that have been up around different role models who are getting the vaccine, from whether it's, from the schools or business owners. I'm wondering what other efforts is the city pursuing in the Board of Health to share with people how important it is to get vaccinated. I know, we're sort of reaching a point where there might be some people who are less hesitant or think they don't need to get vaccinated at this point, and wanted to know some of the upcoming strategies that the Board of Health and in your office will be pursuing.
Well, we've done public service announcements. We have banners everywhere. We have signs everywhere. We have 3 ambassadors out there. We work with the pastors of different churches. I mean, we can always find more to do, but I think we're really pounding the pavement. In fact, like I said, the call I had with the hospital today, they were very impressed with the number of people that were walking in that had heard about the clinic from our health department. So, and the other thing on the announcements about where and everything, it's a lot more difficult because of the length of the day and the amount of work that they have to do down there. Is I would encourage counselors to go on their website and take a look on a daily basis and see where the clinics are. And that might help you out in getting the word out for us.
Thank you, Mayor Vision. I know it's been a really great process down there, and I myself got my 2nd vaccination recently and was very impressed with the operation that they're running. So I hope we can continue to spread the word and appreciate, everyone's efforts across the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Perman. Councilor Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you to the mayor. Have we looked at, when we're doing outreach, are we looking at demographics? So do we have an understanding of, from a demographics perspective, who's getting vaccinated and where there might be gaps, and so use that information to target outreach?
Well, I think that's why we've done so much. If you look at a lot of the banners, there's recognizable faces to the Hispanic community, so that's why they've been put on there. Some are in, we've sent home information with some of the kids in different languages and trying to get, I think it was asked about the parents being educated on it. So we're trying to reach out to that community as much as possible. And like I said, it's tough to break in, but we're getting there. A few hundred at a time, we'll take it. I'd love to have them all show up and say we ran out of vaccines, but we're not anticipating that. But if they go online tonight, I'm sure you can find vaccines tomorrow at the Marriott. There's appointments tomorrow at the Marriott. We encourage people to go on. It's so easy to do. And again, they'd like your insurance card and an ID. If you don't have an insurance card, they'll just take an ID. If you don't have an ID, they'll still vaccinate you. So you can walk in with neither an ID or an insurance card, and they will still vaccinate you. So it helps the process a little bit if there is some identification, but we're trying to encourage them to get up there and say there are no stumbling blocks. They'll really, actually we have someone that we're using as a contractor from the valet service that was down at New England Sports Center. We hired one of them for the Marriott. The fortunate thing is we ended up getting someone that was bilingual. So it helps out even more where they can communicate with the people walking in and kind of calm their fears and get them through the process. So we have people up at the vaccination site that are bilingual. So.
Thank you, Councilor Wagner. Any other councilors? Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Mayor, are there any plans for the school department to do the lunch program again this summer? And is there any type of remedial program or summer program that might be scheduled? And I ask you only because you're chairman of the school committee too. Ordinarily I'd call the super.
Well, we have discussed already summer programs, and obviously we'll be doing a number of those this year. The lunch program, I anticipate that the superintendent will be moving forward with something, and we'll be hearing about that in the next couple of months. I can tell you the last couple of meetings was simply about getting the kids back in the classrooms.
I can see that.
So, but I think from going up there last week, I had an opportunity to go to 2 of the schools when school was getting out because we were giving out ice cream to the teachers on Teacher Appreciation Week, which is great. But the kids were just leaving. It was just to go in the new school and see stuff all over the walls and kids running around all over the place. It really is a great feeling. So it's great to see all the kids back, but I'm sure we'll be taking that up, and I'll make sure I mention it to the superintendent to make sure it's at the next couple meetings.
Yeah. Especially the summer school or remediation, because some kids have lost out, so.
It's been a big problem statewide with the, with the rate of people that weren't participating, and we feel comfortable with the numbers we've had, but, you know, it's our opportunity to kind of double down on these kids and help them out as much as possible right now.
Think there'll be any federal money coming?
They're actually part of the schools receive quite a bit of federal money for those programs. So the superintendent has enough on the side that if we're using it for those purposes, they're not one-time expenses, because being a finance person, he's very aware of the one-time expenses. Yeah, I mean, continual expenses. We want to use them for one-time expenses, I'm sorry. We want them for those programs that are, you know, for this summer and this summer only. We can't hire 20 new teachers, because then you have to pick them up next year in the regular budget. So, you know, he does have quite a bit that came up from the federal government, and he's planning on utilizing that for some of these programs.
I know he'll do the right thing. I know that.
No. He does a good job.
All set, Council Landers?
Oh, fine, that was great.
Okay. Any other councilors? Councilor Dumas?
Thank you, and through you, Mr. President. Mr. Mayor, I know that you said all city buildings are open, and the library has been closed for quite some time with COVID, and I know that you just took a tour. Is there any timeline of when the library will be open, or does that include all city buildings?
I'm sorry.
The library? The library specifically?
Library, they were actually bringing on a couple more people, hopefully in the next week or so, and as soon as they do that, they're going to be open. So
thank you.
We went up and toured the facility the other day. They have books all over the place. Every room has books. It's really impressive how they did it. Our craftsman team, wood crafts team, built them a whole new station for the middle of the hallway for giving the information center. They did a great job. So once it does get open, I encourage everyone at least to take a walk through and take a look and see how they've done up there. But we're moving forward. Bids are going out for the new library in the next couple of weeks. So we're really excited to get this moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Dumas. Councilor Doucette?
Thank you very much. Once again, to the mayor, through you. Just for clarifying, this is the Walker Building with the library in it?
Yes.
Okay, not the old library, but the temporary one in the Walker Building.
Temporary quarters until it's done.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Neven?
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to the mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I did have the opportunity last week to get a little bit on the side of the Walker Building at the entrances, and the work that they've done just to make it more accessible is great. Kids are back in school. That's awesome. Things are clearly starting to open up. As we get closer to the summer season, the recreational season, any updates on, when camps will be back, and then our other recreational facilities across the city, and then also Memorial Beach, is there a plan for that moving forward for the summer access and things like that?
Thank you, Councilor. You know what? I'm going to spend some time at the next meeting kind of talking about the summer programs, because we are moving forward on the majority of our summer programs. We might have to change some things and limit some numbers. We're doing it with the interns that we're hiring. We have to watch how many and where we put them and that type of thing with the high school and with the college interns. We're doing it with the police academy. They informed me that they're trying to figure out what to do with all the other kids, because they opened it up to 7th and 8th grade this year, and because we didn't have it last year, so they ended up with a ton of kids that applied, and they hate to let the kids down, so they're seeing what they can do. They're running 2 programs right now, so I'll have an update for all the summer programs at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Anyone else? Councilor Perlman?
Thank you, and through you to the mayor, just from building off of Councilor Naven's comment, when you do come down, I know we've had questions around the farmers market and the Labor Day parade, so you don't have to answer right now, but would love to have some insight about where that's headed when you give that update at an upcoming meeting.
Absolutely. I could tell you the problem with the Labor Day parade is we're moving forward. They said we have to limit it to 50% of capacity. If someone can explain to me what 50% of capacity of the parade is, I'm on board.
One side of the street, one side of the street.
In one of the DPH calls, right after they announced that, someone on the call asked the question, what is 50% of a capacity of a parade? And they said, we really can't answer that. We'll get back to you. And we haven't got the answer yet, but we're moving forward with the Labor Day parade, and we're really excited about it. So, but I'll have that in the update.
Okay, we greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, councilors, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the update, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, council and members.
Agenda item number 2.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the petition from Massachusetts Electric to install a new pole 45-2 within the public right-of-way approximately 103 feet west of pole 25-1 on Forest Street, order number 21-100, 8276.
Okay, a few comments before we start the public hearing. Please keep your computer and phone muted when not speaking, unmute to speak, and mute when finished speaking. If you're calling in via phone, you unmute by pressing *6. Just like if the public was in the chambers, please be respectful while waiting for your turn to speak. The system does not work when everyone tries to speak at once. We'll do our best to give each individual an opportunity to speak, so please be patient. Do not watch the meeting on TV. There is a delay. Your remote access capability is real time. Should there be any technical issues, we will recess and determine if they can be corrected. And at the conclusion of the public meeting, the council will take a short recess just to clear the participants, and then we'll continue on with the remainder of the agenda. So this public hearing will be conducted in 4 stages. Public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant, questions from the public, public speaking in opposition, and questions from the city councilors. I ask any member of the public speaking to please state their name and address. So with that, we'll start with the first stage. Public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant.
This is Al Galvin, design engineer, National Grid Electric.
Hello, Al. You want to just briefly state the project?
Yes, this is, we're installing a new pole for AT&T's request. They put in an antenna attachment request to read their data on the service lines and secondary lines out on that area there.
Okay, and again, this is out on Forest Street. Anything else, Al? Is that it, Al?
Yes, yeah, they particularly wanted this location, these coordinates, due to its location, to properly get the data reads that they wanted for their 4G, 5G networks in that proximity. So the other poles in that vicinity had equipment on them already, so they wanted an isolated pole, one that could get proper readings and was in a spot that was balanced along the load line there.
Okay, thank you, Al.
Sure.
Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Hearing none, I'll close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the public? Are there any questions from the public? And again, *6 to unmute. Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I'll close that portion of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition. Are there any members of the public speaking in opposition? Any members of the public speaking in opposition? And again, *6 if you're on your phone to unmute. Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Hearing none, I'll close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the city councilors? Questions from the city councilors? Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Just a clarification on what you were saying. Is there eventually going to be a cell phone antenna, like a 5G, on this new pole?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is to attach a new antenna to get new readings.
Okay. Just thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Any other councilors? Any other questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Seeing none, Councilor Landers.
Just a quick comment. That is in my committee, and we will schedule that on the agenda soon.
That is correct. It is in public service.
That's right.
Any other questions from the councilors? You'll make me ask this 3 times again. Any other questions from the councilors? Any questions from the councilors? Hearing none, I will close that portion of the public hearing and the entire public hearing, and as Councilor Landers says, it is in public service. Al, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Moving on, I guess we don't have to recess, right? We're good to go? All right, we will not recess. We'll move on to agenda item number 3.
Communication from the mayor regarding a grant acceptance in the amount of $5,000 from the Office of the Attorney General Natural Gas Fuel Assistance Program awarded to the city to be administered through the Human Services Office to help residents who struggle with gas utility bills.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the grant. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President.
Councilor Oram. Go ahead, Councilor Oram.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if someone else wanted to speak. Is this only for gas utility and not for electric or oil? Are there other opportunities for people that may be having trouble with oil or electric? I didn't know if it was just specifically for gas.
I'm not aware of the answer, but I mean, we can approve it and you can follow up with the mayor if you'd like, Councilor Oram.
Yeah, it would make sense since I will follow up that we're trying to promote less use of fossil fuels. So I'm just curious if the state offered electric. Thank you.
Yeah, no, but this, again, this is helping out those that are on fossil fuel and trying to provide that assistance to them. That's not trying to change them at this point in time. But,
understandable. Thank you.
Councilor Wagner.
For public information, if it's okay to share, so this is, right, particularly about gas, and I hear you on that, but if somebody has gas in their home, they don't have any choice right now. But there is, so anybody watching knows, there's a program called RAFT that is available to help people with utilities. So that money is available for anyone who has, doesn't have gas, but other utilities that needs help, that you can access through our Human Services Department.
That is good information. Thank you, Councilor Wagner. Does that help, Councilor Oram?
It's exactly what I was hoping to hear from Councilor, from our fellow councilor who promotes electric. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on the motion to approve the grant? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to approve the grant.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
And Councilor Roby.
I think we lost her.
Sorry, did I shut myself off? I vote yes.
11 yeas.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. The motion to approve the grant is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 4.
Communication from the mayor regarding a grant acceptance in the amount of $44,500 from the Metropolitan Area Planning Council awarded to the Department of Public Works to be used to plant 93 shade trees on Elm and Pleasant Streets and other locations to help reduce carbon dioxide and beautify areas.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant.
Motion made and seconded to approve the grant. Is there any discussion on the motion? Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's great to see the trees getting planted. I believe like last year there was a whole bunch that were torn down because of blight. It's good to get them replaced. Not only does it reduce carbon dioxide, beautify area, it actually helps cool the city by having the trees there instead of having pavement. This is also something that would be covered with the Climate Resiliency Committee as well, but it's good to get the grant, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to echo, I think this is such a wonderful grant and really want to commend the city for applying for it and hope we do future grants like this because it will be such a long-term benefit for the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Perlman. Any other discussion? I will ask the clerk to call the roll to approve the grant.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to approve the grant for $44,500 for shade trees is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 5.
Communication from the mayor regarding a gift acceptance in the amount of $100 from the Justice Resource Institute awarded to the police department to benefit the Youth Police Academy and RAD Defense Training.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, thank you to the Justice Resource Institute for the gift. Motion to approve the gift.
Motion made and seconded to approve the gift. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
And Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to approve the gift to the police department, it is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 6.
Communication from the mayor regarding a transfer request in the amount of $18,438.70, which moves funds from reserve for TNC surcharge to capital outlay police for the purchase of additional traffic enforcement equipment.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank the Marlborough Police Department for continually keeping our streets safe. In this grant, there's a lot of incredible things that will help the community in enforcing the law. My motion would be to approve the transfer of $18,438.70, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the transfer. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to approve the transfer.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landis votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Ossing votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to approve the transfer, it is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from the mayor regarding a proposed order supporting the location at Elm and Bigelow Streets as the new location for a new West Side Fire Station.
Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the order and refer to Public Safety and Finance Committee, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the order and refer to Finance Committee and Public Safety. Is there any discussion on the motion? Counselor Pearlman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I appreciate Counselor Irish's motion. I was just wondering, given the fact that we had the public meeting where the council was not able to participate, I know I wouldn't want to vote on this to approve the order without having had discussed it at a committee meeting. So I would feel that it'd be great to refer it to the 2 committees and have that discussion before approving this order.
Thank you, Counselor Pearlman. Any other discussion? Counselor Wagner.
Due to the importance of this, and I do feel there needs to be some more discussion, and did hear from some constituents or concerns when the public meeting happened during school vacation week, it seems to me like the appropriate place for this would be the Public Safety Committee. So I don't know if that's part of, we heard a motion to, is that on to go to both? Okay,
yep.
Excellent. I'd support that. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Wagner. Counselor Oram.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will echo what my previous 2 councilors said. I'm not ready to motion to approve, but I am ready to motion to refer to Finance and Public Safety.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one thing, too. During the committee meeting, it would not be a public hearing, just for residents to know that as well.
Correct. Thank you, Counselor Irish. Counselor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess I can go along with referring this to public safety, but I'm not sure what anything is going to get discussed in finance. The order is to authorize the mayor to negotiate. We're not going to have any numbers. He's going to go and negotiate. He'll bring back numbers. To me, that's the more appropriate time to refer something to finance and even public safety. we can't discuss anything until we have information that won't happen until we approve this order. So I don't know why we're not just approving the order and then let it move forward and let the process happen. Approving the order doesn't mean we would ever approve anything else, but it's got to start somewhere.
You are correct, Councilor Roby. Is there any other discussion? Councilor Navin.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I agree with a couple of the different points that have been said, which leaves me feeling a little bit conflicted, but I do think, you know, the point being that the order as it states, it says that right at the top that the council supports the proposed site selection, and I do recognize the fact that, you know, Councilor Roby suggests that we don't know anything about the specifics, and I think that that's true, and I think we do need a little bit more information, though. You know, starting at the top with it saying that the council supports this site selection without having a little bit of extra discussion is a little problematic for me. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. So being the only councilor that sat on the actual fire station committee that's still present, we spent many months negotiating and discussing actual site locations. The decision was that this was the best location. Having said that, it's now up to us 11 to see if that actually is accurate. The only way we can do that is to see if it's correct by how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, and in order to do that, we need to approve this tonight. Otherwise, we're delaying things even more. And previous meetings, Councilor Perlman, Councilor Oram, time was of the essence out of your mouth. I thought the public hearing was a little too quick to get out the word, but that happened. So we cannot delay this anymore. The decision was made, so let's put the proof in the pudding and see if it's actually what we want to. Once that's determined, then we can either vote for it or not. But there's nothing to vote on until that gets approved tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Dumas. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much. I respect the opinions being expressed by various people, and I agree that you know, I was hoping there'd be a better place than this for a fire station, but I think at this point, this project is going to go through multiple approvals through the City Council, and this is only the first stage. So I'm willing to give, you know, allow this to go to the next stage and figure out where it goes from there. I do think that financing needs to be involved, because how much is it going to cost? You know, and as well as public safety. So I think it was a fair comment for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Any other councilors that haven't spoken? Councilor Tenera.
So not all councilors agree on this one. As you know, those are my constituents. I can't approve this tonight. It's still in their backyard. It's next door to their house. And I just wish there was another way to find another spot. So if it does get delayed, and I'll do my best to delay it as much as possible for my constituents. But I do respect all the work that you did, but we just don't want it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Tenera. Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I want to appreciate the comments of my fellow councilors. I know that this is a really important topic, and I know, having attended the public meeting, which I know many of you also were in attendance, that we were giving kind of the rhetoric that we're not going to, as a council, be discussing it at that time because there would be another opportunity. And I know we haven't had many opportunities as a full council to discuss this in more depth. And so I appreciate all of the work of the Fire Station Committee. And, I echo Councilor Wagner's comments that, people have wanted more time to engage with us. And I think this would give them more opportunity. I think we could have the meetings pretty quickly. I know we already are having committee meetings on a regular schedule moving forward. So I would like it to be referred to committee, but I wouldn't want to approve this without that full discussion. And I think that might be a better opportunity for us to talk with one another and, even discuss parts of the public hearing in more depth. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Perlman. Seeing nothing else on the motion to approve the order and refer to Finance and Public Safety, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes no.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes no.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes no.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes no.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
And Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes no.
On the motion,
6-5.
on the motion to approve the order, refer to finance and to public safety, it is approved, 6 in favor, 5 opposed. Agenda item number 8.
Communication from the mayor regarding the fiscal year 2022 budget recommendation in the amount of $173,983,364, which represents a level funded budget compared to the fiscal year 2021 appropriation.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's hard to believe that FY22 is here in front of us. Like the clerk had mentioned and the mayor, it is a 0% increase. I do encourage all councilors, if they have any questions that they need answered before we get into Finance Committee, to reach out to the mayor and the department heads. My motion would be to refer to the Finance Committee and set a public hearing for May 24th, 2021.
Motion made and seconded to refer the budget to the Finance Committee and set a public hearing for May 24th. Is there any discussion on the motion? Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Councilor Irish. Excited to go through this process, and mine was just more of an inquiry. I think it'd be helpful, given that we weren't able to go through the full process last year, if any information could be provided to new councilors, just so we're additionally prepared. I know we're going to read the material just as we did before, but if there's anything about how the meeting will be structured in the public hearing, I think that would be helpful so that we're all very prepared. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Mr. President, Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram.
Just want to reiterate what the mayor has said about capital projects, including the economic impact from COVID-19. With that noted, we do have to be very careful on how we look at any economic incentive to take away funding from our residents when we need to make sure we can serve our budget and any other impact we may have on our residents as close as possible to watch it. So this is going to be some difficult years in my view coming up. We unfortunately had no control on that. And I just want to echo again what was noted in the last paragraph of that letter. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Oram. Any other questions or comments from the councilors? On the motion to refer the budget to the Finance Committee and set a public hearing for May 24th. All those in favor, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Yes, sir.
Motion to refer the budget to the Finance Committee and set a public hearing for May 24th is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from City Solicitor Jason Grossfield regarding the proposed tax increment financing agreement with BJ's Wholesale Club, Inc. and BH Group TCAM Owner LLC in proper legal form. Order number 21-100-8273.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the communication down to reports, please.
Motion made and seconded to move the communication down to reports. Any discussion on the motion? Ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Yes, sir.
Motion to move agenda item 9 to reports is approved. 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 10.
Communication from the Planning Board regarding a favorable recommendation with conditions on the proposed zoning ordinance, which is amendment to Chapter 650, Section 33, relative to the Results Way Mixed-Use Overlay District. Order number 21-100-8216A.
Mr. President, Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication from the planning board. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to accept and place on file the communication.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Council Oram votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
And Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Planning board communication is accepted and placed on file by a vote of 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 11.
Petition for Massachusetts Electric to install 280 feet of 4 to 5 inch conduit from manhole number 10 to pole number 93 on Donald Lynch Boulevard near Bigelow Street.
Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please refer to Public Service Committee, and Mr. President, also set a date for a public hearing.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Service Committee, and we'll set a public hearing for May 24th. Any discussion on the motion to refer to Public Service and set a public hearing for May 24th? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Council Oram votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the telephone pole or conduit to public service and set a public hearing for May 24th is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 12.
Communication from Attorney Robert Buckley on behalf of Marlborough Northborough Land Realty Trust regarding proposed amendment to the zoning code chapter 650 by adding a new section to create the Commercial Village Overlay District.
Mr. President, Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you. I thought he was going to read that little X number there. Move to refer to Urban Affairs and the Planning Board and to set a public hearing for June 21st and to advertise.
Motion is made and seconded to refer to Urban Affairs, the Planning Board, advertise the public hearing for June 21st. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Council Oram votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
And Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The zoning change is referred to Urban Affairs, the Planning Board, and the public hearing is set for June 21st as well as advertised. That is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 13.
Petition of Verizon Wireless for the installation of a small cell wireless facility to be located on pole 19 within the layout of Boston Post Road West, Route 20.
Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please refer to Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to public service, and we'll set a public hearing for June 7th? Is that good?
Yes.
And we'll set a public hearing for June 7th. So, on the small cell wireless, we'll send it to public service and set a public hearing for June 7th. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to refer to public service and set a public hearing for June 7th, it is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item number 14.
Application for renewal of a junk dealer, second-hand dealer license, Best Buy Stores LP, number 820, 769 Donald J. Lynch Boulevard.
Councilor Landers.
Again, thank you, Mr. President. Please refer to Public Service Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Services Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Motion to refer the junk dealer license to Public Service is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 15.
Application for renewal of junk dealer second-hand dealer license, Eco ATM LLC, 601 Donald J. Lynch Boulevard, which is a kiosk in the Sullivan Pond Mall.
I think your favorite one, Councilor.
This is my favorite one. Again, thank you, Mr. President, and please refer this to Public Services.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Public Services Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Echo ATM is referred to the Public Services Committee in a vote of 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 16.
Communication from Attorney Brian Falk on behalf of WP Marlborough Mass Owner LLC regarding a request to extend time limitations to August 24th, 2021 at 10 p.m. on the application for a special permit to build a multifamily residential project in the business district to be known as Walcott Heritage Farms at 339 Boston Post Road East. Order number 21.
Mr. President, Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Sorry, I jumped the gun last time. Move to approve the extension to August 24th.
Motion made and seconded to approve the extension for the special permit to August 24th, 2021. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes.
Councilor Wagner.
I don't support this. We've had multiple extensions for this project. At the last meeting, it was very clear what the extension was for. There's nothing substantial that has changed. There's nothing substantial that's anticipated to be changed by August, or it could be extended out to December. So I feel it's time to I strongly believe that it's time to make a decision on this project. I know the date right now is the end of May. It's on the Urban Committee's agenda for tomorrow. We could easily have this added to the next City Council meeting and make a decision on this project with the extensive information that we have at hand. So I oppose the extension, further extending this project.
Thank you, Councilor Wagner. Any other discussion on the motion?
Mr. President, Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I want to state that it is on the agenda for tomorrow because it was put on with the assumption that this extension would be on that agenda. There is no plan for the petitioner to be present at the meeting tomorrow. So I guess I would urge the council to go with the extension. We have been working with the petitioner. It has always been the council's practice to keep extending. My fear would be if we do not have time to meet and bring back a recommendation that this gets approved as a constructive grant, and I don't really think we want that to happen. I also think we don't want to be voting no, having refused an extension. I know there was a meeting with several people to talk about the purpose that we have this extension, and that's for the traffic light. I was able to talk to Attorney Falk, who unfortunately was not able to be on the call tonight, but he did ask me to relay to everybody that although it's probably clear that District 3 DOT will follow the rules that are in place and deny this, that this has been bumped up to the state. The City Council has received a copy of a letter that the mayor has sent to the governor. And at this point, I think it's not rules, it's politics that will come into play. and there is a distinct possibility that politics will mean that this light could be approved. And so an extension to allow further discussion at the state level, I think is appropriate at this time. So I would urge the committee, the council members to approve the extension.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. Any other discussion? Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Likewise, I feel that, we've talked about waiting to hear from the state, see if there's any movement on this. So I think we have to approve this extension just to see what happens. If it's politics, fine, it's politics. But, if they come up with a part of the project to install a light, well, we could very well move forward on. So I think I would have to vote tonight for the extension. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Landers. Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to, have a question. So I know we've extended this several times, and I believe the public hearing, if I recall, was last summer. So I'm wondering, how many times can you continue to extend a special permit like this to extend the time limitations? I don't know if this is to Councilor Roby or to you, President Ossing, but it seems like it could just be extended continuously. So I wanted to get clarity on that.
Yeah, no, as long as they keep extending and we keep approving, it goes on till we get tired of it, I guess.
Councilor Roby, it looked like you unmuted, so I don't want to.
I was going to respond if the council president did not. Yes, we have in our code that it's once the public hearing is open, we can continue it as long as there's a request and it's mutually agreed upon.
Okay, because I do echo the concerns that, we get to August 24th and they still haven't heard, and then it gets extended again and then they still haven't heard, even with the politics. I mean, it is a pandemic. There's other things that are going on. So I don't imagine this happening anytime quickly. And so I'd be very concerned to, vote for this extension if we know it's not the only extension that's going to be granted. I would, appreciate more clarity on this is the final extension because, we're working really hard, which I know they don't have the answers to that when they're advocating for a light, but it does seem, pretty troubling.
Thank you, Councilor Perlman. Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. This is a dance that's going on between us and the developer as far as setting the extensions. I've seen this enough times. There is no limit as far as how many extensions there should be, but basically we do the extensions, and if the light doesn't happen or other conditions happen, they may withdraw the proposal. And I'd rather be in a situation where they withdraw the proposal than we slam a door. So that's why I'm going to be supporting tonight.
Thank you, Councilor Doucette. Councilor Navin, you all set, or Councilor Navin?
Thank you, Mr. President. I certainly understand the frustrations that Councilor Wagner has laid out. I feel them myself. We have been going through this for quite a while, and I still have plenty of concerns about the project moving forward. That said, when we were at the Urban Affairs meeting, we did tell the proponent that they should go forth and try and get the light, and that we will give them some time to do so. We have given them some time. It feels like quite a bit longer. Mr. President, you said it can go until we're sick of it. I'm sure there are plenty of members that are sick of kicking this issue around, but that said, I do think we need to continue in good faith just to give them a little bit more time. I certainly don't want to see us not get it done, and then, as Chair Roby said, it gets approved anyways because we've run out of time because we did not extend it. I think we need to continue to give this the full focus that it deserves. So I'll be voting in favor of the extension. But I do hope that this does remedy itself in the very near future. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Navin. Councilor Oram.
Thank you, Mr. President. So a couple scenarios then. So if we extend, obviously they have another opportunity with time, and we'll see what happens with the street light, the traffic light. The other question, though, is if we deny the extension, can they withdraw without prejudice?
Well, so they've got till May 25th, I believe the permit goes to now. So, they would have the next meeting if they want to come back to do that. But I'll just caution the councilors, please reflect on the training that we just received from the solicitor. Again, you can't be emotional, you got to be factual, right? So I just ask you to keep that in mind as we go through this, right? Because as we saw from the presentation, some things that come back to bite us if we're not factual. And so we act on the facts, and that'll put us in a better position. So I don't know if that helps, Councilor Oram, or not.
Well, what facts? The fact that they can withdraw without prejudice and come back, or is there another fact I'm missing?
No, they can withdraw. No, but the scenario right now, if we do not act on this permit at the May 24th meeting, it gets approved by default. All right? So let that sink in for a minute. Okay, so we don't have any meetings, urban affairs meetings scheduled to discuss it. And when we had training from the solicitor that was very explicit that if you're going to vote on a project for or against, you need to be factual in your decision making, not emotional. Emotional will get us not where we want to be.
Point of information, it gets approved without any conditions as well.
That is also correct, Councilor Dumas. That's very well stated. So the point, Councilor Oram, was that they can withdraw without prejudice any time before the permit expires. They can send a letter in and to that effect.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just wasn't sure what you meant by the facts. The facts are already been given to the developer of the need for a traffic light. So I don't find that fact to not be it's a true fact. It's not emotional. So that's why I was questioning if you were questioning that fact.
No, but the fact for a traffic light may not be, what's the word I want to use? Appeal worthy, I guess. Councilor Wagner, you had a comment?
Thank you. Yes, just respectfully, I want to be careful to not characterize the real concerns of our neighbors and things like safety that are legitimate issues of concern that have been raised in this space, and to dismiss it as emotional, I find that minimizing of my constituents. So I just want to reiterate that I stand and listen with my constituents, and am not in support of this. I think we have sufficient information and sufficient time to act accordingly before the deadline of what I believe is May 28th. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Wagner. Any else? Councilor Perlman.
Thank you. I had a question and a comment. So my question is, just from my knowledge, how many times have we extended this so far? I'm just curious if anyone, I know that's like not maybe top of mind for folks, but I can think of a couple times. So I just wanted to get a number and kind of know if this is common that it would be extended this many times. And why folks might be looking. I know Councilor Roby looks like you're on mute, so I don't know if you're. Councilor Roby, you're still on mute.
Sorry about that. I have on my information that the public hearing was June 8th, and we extended till January 20th of 2021, February 28th of 2021, March 31st, and then finally to May 28th of 2021.
So would this be the 5th extension?
1, 2, 3, 4, correct.
Okay, I just wanted to get that information and I appreciate you having that handy. I know that wasn't something that was available to us right now. So that's helpful. And I guess my other comment would be, I think I remember at one of the urban affair meeting prior, it didn't look like there was gonna be a vote, and then the applicant asked for more time, which I think the committee was really gracious in giving. So, I echo the concerns that, Councilor Wagner raised. I know a lot of constituents have reached out, and a lot of them are directing those directly to her, and might not have emailed the whole council, but I know that public safety is a continuous concern, with or without a light. It continues to be something that pops up. Thank you.
Mr. President, while I have this, I will throw out there that we did an extension 3 times for the public hearing for VD Natural. So it's not unusual. And that's only for this year's records that I have in front of me.
Thank you, Councilor Roby. Any other discussion? On the motion to approve the extension for the special permit to August 24th, 2021, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes no.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes no.
Councilor Orem.
Councilor Orem votes no.
Councilor Tenera.
Council Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
8 in favor, 3 opposed.
The motion to approve the extension is approved to August 24th, 2021 by a vote of 8 in favor, 3 opposed. Agenda item 17.
Communication from Attorney Brian Falk on behalf of Global Montello Group Corp. regarding a request to extend time limitations to August 24th, 2021 at 10 p.m. on the application for a special permit to construct and operate a drive-through facility to serve the current all-town convenience store on the site at 656 Boston Post Road East, order number 21-100, 8215A.
Mr. President, Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move to extend this special permit to August 24th, 2021.
Motion made and seconded to extend the special permit to August 24th, 2021. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Orem.
Councilor Orem votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
And Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
7 yeas, sir.
The motion to approve the extension to August 24th, 2021 is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 18.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
Mr. President.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file all the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Orem.
Councilor Orem votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
And Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to accept and place on file the minutes is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Claims, number 19.
Mr. President.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much. Motion to send the claims to legal.
Motion made and seconded to send the claims to the legal department. I stole your thunder on that.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. Any discussion on sending it to the legal department? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Orem.
Councilor Orem votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
11 yeas.
On the motion to refer the claims to the legal department is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Reports of committees. I believe we have 4. Who wants to go first? Any contestants? Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee met on May 3rd, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. We had one item that evening on the agenda. It was order number 21-100-8273, proposed tax increment financing agreement with BJ's Wholesale Club Incorporated, who will be leasing 2 buildings comprising of 168,581 square feet located at 350 Campus Drive and 19,244 square feet located at 100 Campus Drive, map 111, parcel 1. The mayor and the members of BJ spoke in support of the TIF, explaining the advantages of the move of the headquarters from Westboro to Marlborough's industrial area. The relocation will include the construction of a new parking garage to exclusively service many of the current 800 employees relocating to Marlborough. The mayor explained this is a local TIF, and although new jobs are not being created, the current employees will frequent Marlborough's restaurants, gas stations, hotels, and many more, bringing great value to our business community. The city solicitor will place the corrected documents in the final package to be placed on the city council agenda for the final vote of the body, which he has done that. Council Orem stated he is waiting for comparison information he requested before he decides on the merits of the TIF. Motion by Councilor Tenera, seconded by a chair, to recommend approval of the TIF increment financing agreement with the resolution to be amended by the city solicitor. Motion carried 3-2. Council Orem abstained. Council Perlman opposed. That, the Finance Committee adjourned at 7:26 p.m. Thank you, Mr. President. That's the end of the report. Considering that we do have the documentations in proper legal form and we have all the information in regards to the TIF and the resolution, I would like to ask for a suspension of the rules on order number 21-100-8273, please.
Motion is made and seconded to suspend the rules. I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landis votes yes.
Councilor Orem.
Councilor Orem votes yes.
Councilor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Perlman.
Councilor Perlman votes no.
And Councilor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
10 in favor, 1 opposed, sir.
The suspension of the rules carries for the report out. 10 in favor, 1 opposed. Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve order number 21-100-8273, the TIF agreement and the resolution, the City Council resolution, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the TIF and the resolution that's been put in proper format by the city solicitor in agenda item number 9. Discussion from the city council. Councilor Orem, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've taken a good look at this, and you had probably heard me say when we were reviewing the budget that we're going to be running into some very difficult years in the future. So I'm going to be voting no on this, but I will say the presentation given to us indicates they are definitely interested in this property. They need to expand. BJ's gave a great presentation. I don't think a TIF's going to matter. I've been through plenty of trainings where TIFs and tax incentives and tax itself do not really matter to businesses. And this was true of the MMA. What matters is your location, your infrastructure, such as water and sewer, and your highway access. So with that said, they're coming to Marlborough. I see no reason why not. But what's coming to Marlborough is some very difficult budget years, and I cannot support additional funds being taken away from our residents that need to be put into our budget to run effectively. So I will be voting no, and I look forward to BJ's coming to Marlborough. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Orem. Councilor Perlman.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I can echo several comments that Councilor Orem made, but I know I brought this up at the Finance Committee meeting, but I do take issue with several parts of the TIFs, and there is extensive research that does show how important location is to determining when a company moves, and I do think that Marlborough sells itself, and we don't need to be giving it tax relief to this business, especially during such upcoming hard times. BJ's has been in the Metro West area for many, many years, and I think a 20-year TIF is extremely long for a parking garage, which I know, the workers coming here is really great, but there's no new job creation for Marlborough residents. It is over $590,000 for what they would be saving. And I think it was, complicated when we were reviewing the TIF that some of the information was incomplete. So, if there are future TIFs that come forward, I would hope that we would get all of that within our packet so that we can be informed for the meeting. So I will also be voting no on this tonight and agree that there will be some hard financial years ahead. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to approve the TIF and the TIF resolution.
Councillor Irish.
Councilor Irish votes yes.
Councillor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councillor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councillor Navin.
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councillor Oram.
Councilor Oram votes no.
Councillor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councillor Pearlman.
Councilor Pearlman votes no.
Councillor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councillor Wagner.
Councilor Wagner votes no.
Councillor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councillor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
8 in favor, 3 opposed, sir.
On the motion to approve the TIF and the TIF resolution, it is approved, 8 in favor, 3 opposed. Who's next in the council? Oh, you got more information
Thank
for
you,
us, Councilor
Mr.
Irish.
One quick thing, public service announcement. Our Finance Committee will be meeting to take up the Mayor's FY 2022 budget. We will meet on May 17th, 2021 at 6 p.m. We'll also schedule May 18th at 7 p.m. and May 19th at 7 p.m. as well, if we would need those evenings to extend the discussion. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Irish. Any other reports of committees? Councilor Dumas.
I didn't have a choice. Thank you, Mr. President. The City Council Personnel Committee met on May 3rd at 7:30. We ran started a little late. All members of the committee were present. There's a few items on the agenda, starting with order number 21-100-8269 is the appointment of Tim Hathaway, Building Commissioner for a 3-year term. That was motioned by Councilor Doucette, seconded by the chair, and it was voted 3-0 and approved. Order number 21-100-8272, reappointment to the Conservation Commission of Mr. Edward Clancy, term to expire April 26, 2024, and Mr. Dennis Demers and Mr. David Williams for a 2-year term, expires April 23, 2023. Motion was carried by Councilor Lander, seconded by myself with the chair, and the recommendation was approved 3-0. The next two item numbers, order number 21-100-8270 and order number 21-100-8271 was postponed by Councilor Doucette for more information regarding staggering the term limits. That was voted on 2-1 and myself opposing. We have information regarding from the city solicitor, so that will be taken up during our next committee meeting. And then lastly, we postponed the last item on the agenda due to time. I do not have a meeting for the next personnel committee due to schedule conflicts with my own personal schedule, so as soon as I work that out, I will let you know. And then we were motioned to adjourn 3-0 at 8:50 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Dumas. Councilor Landers.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Public Service Committee meeting met on May 4th, took up 5 items. First item was order number 21-1008258, petition for Mass Electric and Verizon New England to install a new number 5 pole in Anchorage, which will allow for the removal of a pole and tree guide at 43 Berlin Road. The motion to approve was seconded. Roll call vote in favor, Irish, Pearlman, and Landers. By the way, that's one of the first times I think we've ever voted to take a pole down. It's always good to get rid of a pole, but the guide wire is important, so it worked out, and I met with the people at 43 and across the street, I think 46 Berlin Road, and they were pleased. The next 4 items, I'm going to mention here that Chief Georgie reviewed each of the candidates for renewal of their license and did a recovery report and recommended approval of all the following junk dealers. The first item, council order, was 21-108-259. Application, renew junk dealer's secondhand license of Hanut Jewelry, 601 Donald Lynch Boulevard. A motion was made and seconded. Roll call vote in favor, Irish, Pearlman, and Landers. The next item was 21-1008278, application for renewed license, junk dealer license of Savers on 222A East Main Street. Motion second to approve, subject to the long-standing conditions attached to the license. And we have several licenses that are attached to this. And John Stockwell, he gave a good presentation that night, but Savers has worked out pretty well. So that we did vote in favor, Irish, Perlman, and Landis. The next item, item number 21-1008279, and I have an idea my friend across the way there is probably want to excuse himself from this.
Yeah, when we vote on it.
I
You're
will,
just
yes.
reporting.
Just
Yeah,
vote on it, okay. And that was the application, the renewal license of Jerry Dumas, DBA Dumas and Son, secondhand, 65 Mechanic Street. Motion to approve made and seconded. Roll call vote in favor, Irish, Perlman, and Landis. And the final item, Mr. President, was item 21-1008280, application, the renew license of Arthur and Sons, 107 Main Street. Motion to approve was seconded. Roll call in favor, Irish, Perlman, and Landis. And that is the end of my report, and we adjourn, Mr. President, at 7:10 p.m. on May 4th. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Landers. Any other reports of committees?
Mr. President, Councilor Roby, we'll do ladies last this evening.
Sorry about that, Councilor Roby.
That's all right, it's quite fine by me.
The best for last, how's that?
Save the best for last.
There you go. So the City Council Urban Affairs Committee also met on Tuesday, May 4th at 7 p.m. We did have some members participating via the Teams meeting, so we did do a roll call on everything. Our first order that we had was order number 21-100-8255, which was a request for the approval of a flat wall sign for Best Value Kitchen and Bath at 296 Boston Post Road East in the Wayside District. So this was before us only because it is in the Wayside District, where we have been working with trying to upgrade as new signage is requested. And we have put in language to not allow externally illuminated signs if possible. So when we looked at this, it was decided that because this is in a strip mall where there really is no way to have a sign not internally illuminated and be visible at nighttime, that there was a sense of the committee that we should approve this. So Councilor Doucette moved to approve the application for Best Value Kitchen and Design dated 3/18/21 for a 170 feet by 29.5 feet internally illuminated sign. Is that inches? I guess that's inches. It was seconded, and the roll call vote, all committee members voted yes. I am asking a suspension for this to be voted on this evening. The second item that we took up was order number 21-100-8222, which the solicitor be invited to a future urban affairs meeting to provide general information regarding the approval and denial of special permit applications that may be referred to the committee. I know I went into some lengthy detail about the discussion. I don't think I need to read it all. These will be in the minutes of our meeting, and people can review the meeting if they were not able to attend. But I do feel it was very informative, and I appreciate his taking the time to come and give us information. Councilor Doucette moved to accept and place on file the presentation. It was seconded, and a roll call vote. All the committee members voted yes. So I do have the request for suspension. Before we take it up, I would like to just let everybody on the council know that at the planning board's meeting this evening, they did set the public hearings that they need to have for the 290 Hudson Street that was referred to them. the rezoning and to amend Chapter 650 for the temporary moratorium. Both of those public hearings have been set for June 7th. Thank you.
You're welcome, Councilor. So the Urban Affairs Chair has asked for suspension of the rules for order number 8255 on the sign at 796 Boston Post Road. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll for a suspension.
Councilor Ossing?
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Landers?
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Nabin?
Councilor Navin votes yes.
Councilor Dumas?
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Tenera?
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman?
Councilor Pearlman votes yes.
Councilor Wagner?
Councilor Wagner votes yes.
Councilor Roby?
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Doucette?
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Irish?
Council Irish votes yes.
Councilor Orem?
Councilor Orem votes yes.
11 yes, sir.
The suspension of the rules is approved. Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I move to approve the recommendation of the committee, which was to approve the application from Best Value Kitchen and Design for an internally illuminated sign.
Motion made and seconded to approve the recommendation of the committee, which is for the illuminated sign. Is there any discussion on the motion? Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I was thinking about this sign. I walked by it during the week, but I think it would be important that the sign is turned off outside of business hours. So is it possible to make a motion to put in a condition on this at this point?
It's our approval if you want to put a condition.
I want to put a condition in to make sure it's turned off outside of business hours.
So, Councilor Roby, you okay with that condition?
Well, I guess I would ask, because Councilor Doucette was the one who seemed most familiar with this strip mall, are
Yes.
the other signs within it also turned off at night?
It is, to be honest,
don't know if the sign ordinance requires signs to be turned off when the business is closed.
right, because this is an internally illuminated sign, and honestly, in that strip mall, there's a whole bunch of different types of signs to begin with. So I think if they're asking for approval from the city council, I think the precedent is to make sure we put this as a condition.
Now, I think that the sign application, all we're doing is approving the sign application that went to the building commissioner. It's not a special permit. We only have to approve it because of where it is. So I'm not sure that there are conditions that can be put on sign approvals. I mean, my hope was that this would get approved tonight, but if that's a question we need to have clarified, maybe we should postpone this till the next meeting and find out for sure.
You okay with laying on the table and Councilor
I am
Doucette?
perfectly fine postponing this to the next meeting.
Follow up with, you'll go get the, you got to get the answer,
Yeah,
so
I'll
make
get
sure
the
you're
answer.
happy with the answer.
That's fine with me,
There you go,
sir.
okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, so if you're okay, Councilor Roby, we'll let this sit on the table till our May 24th meeting.
Yes, I will move my motion to approve and move to postpone.
Okay, so we'll stay on the table to the May 24th meeting. Any other reports of committee? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to read, and I won't do it for you, agenda item 20.
Ordered that the inaugural meeting of the Marlborough City Council Climate Resiliency Committee will include the discussion of current and future city projects that address climate change and improve the climate resiliency of the city, and identify and discuss how state and federal programs and policies impact our community in reducing local emissions, submitted by Councilor Doucette.
Mr. President. Thank you very much, Mr. President. There is a lot of motion going on, both at the state and federal level, on addressing climate change. And it's great that the city's ponying up to the action, and looking forward to getting this sent to the Climate Resiliency Committee to discuss the issues. Thank you.
Motion's been made and seconded to refer to the Climate Resiliency Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Councilor Tenera.
Councilor Tenera votes yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Councilor Ossing votes yes.
Councilor Landers.
Councilor Landers votes yes.
Councilor Dumas.
Councilor Dumas votes yes.
Councilor Irish.
Council Irish votes yes.
Councilor Roby.
Councilor Roby votes yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Councilor Doucette votes yes.
Councilor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
The motion to refer the order to the Climate Resiliency Committee is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. Agenda item 21.
Order number 21-100, 8262, excuse me, order that the Human Services Committee hold a public meeting to allow the Mass General Brigham leadership to present additional details regarding the Mass General Brigham proposed expansion. It was submitted by Councilor Wagner, and the recommendation of the Human Services Committee is to accept and place on file.
Councilor Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to approve the recommendation of the committee and accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the results of the meeting of the Human Resources Committee with Mass General Brigham. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to accept and place on file.
Counselor Oram. Counselor Oram.
He froze.
When we move along.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landers votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes
Guys, I
yes.
lost contact. I gotta get near Wi-Fi.
Counselor Oram.
Counselor Oram votes yes. Sorry, I'm losing contact.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Rossing votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
On the motion to accept and place on file the report from the Human Services Committee, it is approved to accept and place on file, 11 in favor, none opposed.
Mr. President,
Counselor Tenera.
to adjourn.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Counselor Roby.
Counselor Roby votes yes.
Counselor Irish.
Counselor Irish votes yes.
Counselor Wagner.
Counselor Wagner votes yes.
Counselor Pearlman.
Counselor Pearlman votes yes.
Counselor Navin.
Counselor Navin votes yes.
Counselor Dumas.
Counselor Dumas votes yes.
Counselor Doucette.
Counselor Doucette votes yes.
Counselor Tenera.
Counselor Tenera votes yes.
Counselor Ossing.
Counselor Rossing votes yes.
Counselor Oram.
With full connection, Counselor Oram votes yes.
Counselor Landers.
Counselor Landers votes yes.
11 yeas, sir.
Motion to adjourn is approved, 11 in favor, none opposed. We are adjourned at 9:37. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.